And we should be back, everyone. If you can let me know in the chat if the sound is fixed, and if it isn't, then yeah, like I said, we're just gonna roll with it and keep going. If it's really, really bad though, we will get Hacklebeast to stream it instead, and the sound should be fixed then, even if we don't have as many fancy overlays. Okay, the sound is a little bit better apparently, which is good to hear. So, True Touch and Bakaru are going forward into the round of 8, and the third game we have here is Radley versus Oxerg. But before we do that, I actually have an interview of, I believe it's True Touch. An interview of True Touch for you all, and Radley is our interviewer. And because we don't have either of them on Skype at the moment, we're going to just be having a reading of the interview. So let's get that out here. Where is it? Interview with True Touch. So that charming fellow on the right there is Radley, and this charming fellow on the left is True Touch. Hello, True Touch, mighty A Zerg player from Poland. You have been doing really well since last year in many tourneys, including the Brutal Mapping Network tournament. How does it feel to be one of the best players in the foreign scene? True Touch says, hey, I wasn't been doing as well as you think, but actually in Brutal Mapping Network it's going pretty good. I won all my games, so it's cool. I don't think so about myself. I'm just not a noob and not in the top. Well, it seems that you are also really modest. Pretty uncommon characteristic nowadays, especially that you have won with the best, as he is told to be, foreign Zerg player, Psyche. What can you tell us about this match, which result was a big surprise for most of us? ZVZ is typical matchup. I just probably had the better day and I won. Psyche's Mutilus Micro is much better than me, also linear control, so in overall he's better ZVZ than me, but in a best of 3 there's always a possibility to win series even if you are first player. In round of 16 you have bet Jim, which in last week pretended to be a very decent player. Your next opponent is Bakaru, even more famous Mustache Zerg. Are you worried of him or his mustache, since it seems that your ZVZ is really strong? By the way, do you have your own facial hair as lucky feature? Well, Bakaru is such a strong player, so I'm kinda not happy that I have to play him in round of 8. Even if his APM isn't high, he has decent muta control, and his logical thinking is on very high level. So maybe I'll be able to beat Mustache Zerg, same as I went 2-0 versus Jim and Psyche. Any other players you are fair of? What are your prediction about final pair and score? You can type also yourself and don't have to be shy. I am afraid of Radley. My prediction for final match is Radley versus Psyche. And Radley says, I really like this very reasonable prediction. As I saw, we can meet in semi-final, but I have really good opponent before this. As you know, the main aim of Brutal Mapping Network tournament, apart from having some really nice matches with one of the best foreign players, is to get some opinion from new maps created by Brutal Mapping's net crew. We would really glad if you could share with us your opinion. What maps do you like or don't like, and why? It's so hard for me to share with you my opinion about the maps, because actually I didn't have any long game on these maps, and most of them were ZVZ. Even though I wasn't practicing for any of my matches, the maps look great and I would like to see them in Icy Cup map pack soon. The map which I like the most is the one with similar overworld scouting direction as at Fighting Spirits. Alright, now let's talk about something else. Everyone from StarCraft scene is cheering for incoming TLS event. I hope you are also going to participate in it. What do you feel about that? Do you think it is main milestone for Rising, like Phoenix from Ashes, StarCraft Brood War? If I find time, I'll try to qualify. I like this TL idea. It's another chance to see some epic matches with Saley and Elegant on board. Starlink's always had a big number of viewers, and this one presented by TL may be the best in the last 2 years. You are also leader of Polish national team in Swedish Brood War Initiative Nation War event. You have been advanced into round of 4 with such good teams like North America, Russia and Central Europe. Do you think you will lead your team to win, especially that fight in first round was really even and nervous? Which nation do you fear the most? Of course I'm going to lead my team to win. I hope my players won't fail. First round was pretty weird because I wasn't expecting so many lost games because we are the best team. I'm not afraid of any team. And Bradley says, I think many amateur players love asking good players about how they became so good. You are one of the best foreign Zerg players and your fan base is growing significantly. Can you share with any advices to them? Any special training tactics, food, behavior before matches, etc.? You should drink a coffee before every important event. I sometimes do saying beep while I was a C- player with 90-200 stats in past, and I really don't know how I became a player who is able to win games with the best foreign nerds. Maybe you should mass games? And Riley says, train hard to become master. Alright, now tell me, what are your plans for the nearest future? I know that you are having your A-level exams this year. Does it mean you are going to reduce your training time? Or are you feeling really fine with you school things and still will spend some time on improving your StarCraft skills? My nearest plans for future is to pass exams well and go on a university. I have time for school, girls, drugs, and for brood war. Haha, drugs. Do you use doping? That was a joke. I thought so. Okay, so I wish you only A+. Oh wait, I mean A. Scores during exams and finding the best university. Also, wish you good luck in next round of BWMN. Do you have any shoutouts? Shout out to all my E friends and to everyone who loves Brood War. Thank you for the interview. And that concludes the interview between Radley and True Touch. So we're going to go ahead and get on to Radley's game, and that's Radley versus Oxer. It's a TVG.
Alright, game started.
And the game's on Gemlong. You can start it.
Sorry.
And this is everybody's favorite map because it's like Fighting Spirit. Am I right? So is it TVZ and Gemlong.
In the top left as the white Terran is Radley, and in the bottom left as the teal Zerg it is Oxer. Alright. Sorry, doing a couple things on my end as well.
And we have Pleebon is observing in the game, coming up with XCVs and I'm not sure whether that's allowed, but whatever.
Possibly. Could be just observing, could have been the host.
Yeah. Oh, blast.
Alright. So, theoretically, if the positions had been reversed, and Radley was in bottom left and Oxerg was in top left, Oxerg's going to scout clockwise, right?
Yeah, and he would have
So
seen the sign, the CC and realized that his opponent isn't there. That's not how to do observing with a command center people.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's trying to put it in a position so it won't be accidentally killed, but... No, you
But
gotta
it's gonna screw up
it
if the Overlord scouts it, yeah. So you should have put it in the top right here. Lift it so we know.
Tisk, tisk.
So we have a 2 racks coming out from Radley, and Hogsburg is doing the 12 hatch. Pretty standard so far.
Alright. So, Oxford is certainly known as being a very aggressive player. Would not be surprised at all to see him build a lot of early lings and go for some kind of ling and mutabust, try to break through. But Radley is getting a quick 2-racks. He's going to be going. I don't know. It's not too often nowadays you see Terran going for something that doesn't involve a fast command center just because of how safe it is. But he's going to be getting a lot of early Marines and should have a very strong early force. Could be to defend against Oxurg, it could be to try to mount some aggression of its own. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it sounds like people would like us to have the sound fixed, so I think we'll get you to stream if you can after this game, I guess.
Alright.
Is that going to be a problem, or should we just stay on this?
I don't know. Again, I don't know how bad it is. Alright. Radley's going for a bunker rush. So it turns out it's not going to be defensive, it's going to be very offensive here.
But we already have the creep colony thrown down, so that was scouted by that overlord, I would guess.
Yeah, but it's not going to be in time here. Oxurg does not have a whole lot of lings. He has just 6 right now.
He pulls his drones and he's trying to take down the Marines. He is doing quite well, he's taking down 2 of them, but he's losing his lings now. And he does manage to snipe one of the SCVs, but the other SCV on half health is still there. He knows segments, but Sunken Colony finishes, so it's going to be able to snipe the SCV if it chooses, but it was too late, and the Marines are able to get inside the bunker. And it looks like they'll be taking down the Sunken Colony. But if that SCV can continue to repair, then it's going to be a problem. Maybe Oxford doesn't realise you can actually kill off the SCV with the Sunken. But he does take down the bunker, and the Sunken Colony is still alive, and these Marines are going to go down quite quickly.
Yeah, the Sunken Colony does just a little bit too much damage to buildings, comparing the 6 damage of the Marine times 2 compared to the 40 damage of the Sunken Colony. Sunken Colony's just usually going to win that race, even with one SCV repairing. Now there are a lot of lings coming out here, and Radley has thrown down an expansion behind this, so he might be in a little bit of trouble here. With a lot of lings bearing down on him from Oxurg. There's no kind of bunker, no kind of wall to be falling behind. Guess we'll get to see how good of his micro he has.
And the SCV sees the lings, and he's pulling back his Marines as fast as possible, but the lings are going to be able to get up the ramp in front and surround the Marines and kill them off very quickly. And Radley pulls his SCV, so he's going to be trying to kill off those lings using his SCVs and Marines. It looks like he might be able to clean this up, but he does lose all of his Marines, and more lings are streaming in as well, taking down some of the SCVs. Although SCVs are amazingly strong, and he does manage to kill off most of those circlings there. But he's at an extreme SCV deficiency now compared to what he would like to have. And it looks like we're still going to have even more lings coming out from Oxurg, as well as he's taken his lair, which is just about complete. So he's sending another group of 8 Zerglings over to do some more harassment of Radley. Now Radley's making a fireback and a medic, which of course can kill like over 9,000 Zerglings, so he might be alright.
Interesting. He landing the command center to block the lings a little bit, possibly hoping that the lings would be distracted and take the bait of going for the command center when it could just be lifted up later. Right now Radley just needs to defend. He has Firebat and a medic, which would be very hard for the lings to take down, especially considering they can't get a good surround on it, but Firebat doesn't have the same range that Marines do. It doesn't look like he's going to even need it, as the SCVs are able to do enough damage on their own.
But he does have more lines coming in back there. 2 Firebats there and a Marine and a medic, so they're going to be able to at least defend themselves. But they're going to have a bit more trouble defending all these SCVs that they're trying to keep alive.
I'm starting to wonder if this is worth from Oxurg. I'm certainly a fan of Zerg players who put in a lot of pressure to put in a lot of effort into early ling pressure, but now it's getting to the point where they have a medic and 2 Firebats out. The medic gets out of energies. Oh, but there's another medic. It's the point I'm trying to make is it's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard to continue to get damage, and you're getting diminishing returns at this point. It might be better to just really quickly take up the Mutalisks,
which he has done, and he's going to be able to build.
Yeah, but if he had the extra minerals, he would be able to make some Mutalisks right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't actually built like 3 or 4 of them, but because he can't
He's
afford
poor.
it. Oh, there's one.
Spent all his money on links. I think that would have been the better option here rather than, especially that last wave of lings. But as soon as you see a fire bat or a medic, it's time to stop with that ling stuff and just prepare to overwhelm them with the mutalisks.
So apparently the command center, what Radley was trying to do was trying to crush the Zerglings with it, which apparently is a popular offensive tactic when you're around. As a Zerg player, I laugh at your puny attempts to crush my Zerglings. And Oxzerg does have quite a few Mutalisk out, and there is an engineering bait on the way for Radley, but it's going to be a bit late for these Mutalisk, assuming Oxzerg does actually do something with them. And he's switching to ling production now, so he's decided he's got enough Mutalisk on the way, and he's going to be going on with the ling production.
Actually, interesting move from Oxzerg. Researching the +1 attack on the Mutalisk. That's a very early +1 attack. It costs 1 Mutalisk to get that, and it takes so long to produce. And unlike things like Corsairs or Zealots, the +1 attack from Mutalisk is not as good.
Oh, and he was running this immediately to those very cleverly placed Marines from Bradley, and he's trying to get 2 missile turrets up, but he does manage to, and he has a second one there, a third one there, sorry. So he is actually going to be able to stay on this base for a little bit longer.
Probably pull that back a little bit, trying to keep it safe. Marines getting some really nice shots off on the Mutalisk. After a couple of micro missteps there. There were quite a few turnarounds where there was no shot fired. And well, the +1 still needs a little bit more time to kick in, but when it does kick in, it's certainly going to help. Command Center losing even more health. The Mutalisk diving very deep in here to pick off all the Marines, but he does manage to finish them all off. Only a couple that just came out of the barracks are left, along with 3 missile turrets, now a 4th one finishing. It's still a pretty dire situation for Radley, but he's getting up so many missile turrets, he might just be safe from that for the time being.
But he does have Hydrals down on the way from Oxzerg, so unless he can get a factory out and so that he can get a tank to defend it, he's going to be hard pressed to defend the left aggression. And with all those missile turrets up, I don't think it's a good idea to continue with that Mutalisk aggression from that angle at least. However, he does have +1 on the way, so...
I was gonna say, I'm not even sure if Oxzerg should go for lurkers. Like, you might be able to just win with Hydralisk attack. The Marines are in such few numbers, and if you can draw the Marines out of position to attack the Hydralisk as they attack barracks, the Mutalisk can easily pick them off. But lurkers obviously a very good option. Oxzerg in a position where there are a lot of different things he can do, and it's a very good option.
Including floating 900 minerals and getting some Hydralisk and lurkers up. And Radley's forced to stay inside his base. He's trying to pull up command center here, but these Mutalisk are going to be defending. He does take down one of the fire bats, so hopefully Zerglings coming in here are going to be in a much better position considering there's no more fire bats to deal with. May have been what Oxzerg is waiting for. There's losing another Mutalisk there, but he does have this +1 though, which is quite effective. That takes it down. And the Zerglings are coming in as well, and he's going to be able to probably snipe command center. He's killing off all the Marines as well. And all the Marines are rushing in, but these Marines back there are going to be able to defend, especially with the full SCVs, but that command center goes down. And Radley GG's out. So game 1 goes to Oxzerg. And I'll just inquire about the sound. Yeah, so people in the chat, do you think the sound is so bad that we should get Hacklebeast to stream? He'll still be on the same link, but it won't be with the 16. Yeah, okay, they're all saying it's pretty bad, so Hackle, if you can get your stream setup, and I'll send you my streams key. Okay, we'll be back in about 2 minutes, and it will be on the same link, so you don't have to go anywhere, and it will just not be the 16:9 resolution most likely. Okay, so stay tuned.